You're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So after Nicholas Walters beat the previously undefeated Miguel Mariaga, who was a power puncher and beat Nicholas Walters twice in the amateurs, we as boxing fans all thought the next big fight would be Walters versus Lomachenko, or at least in the very near future. But now, according to Lomachenko's manager, we find out that Lomachenko is no longer interested in fighting the Jamaican Nicholas Walters. Lomachenko's manager, Aegis Klimas, basically said that now that Nicholas Walters lost his belt on the scales because he didn't make weight, there's really no reason to fight him if he doesn't have a title. And on top of that, they're concerned that because Nicholas Walters didn't make weight for the Mariaga fight and rehydrated all the way up to 145 pounds, they're worried that Nicholas Walters may do the same thing in a fight with them and end up being a lot bigger the night of the fight against Lomachenko. Now, Team Lomachenko gave two reasons why they no longer want to fight Nicholas Walters. Let's talk about the first reason. They claim that Nicholas Walters no longer has a title. Now, no doubt about it, it looks a little bit better if, you're building up this fight as a unification bout, right? But at the same time, we already know who the best fighters in the division are, right? I mean, if you're fighting against Floyd Mayweather, no one cares if Floyd Mayweather is holding the belt or not because people already know Floyd Mayweather's status. And this situation is no different when it comes to Nicholas Walters. We know that the two best fighters in the division are Nicholas Walters and Vasyl Lomachenko. It doesn't really matter if they have a belt or not. Who else is Lomachenko going to fight at 126 to get the same type of credit he would have gotten if he beat Nicholas Walters? I mean, I can't think of anybody at the division or in the division. I mean, he already beat Gary Russell, so who else can he fight that's on Nicholas Walters' level? Nobody right now. So I don't really buy that excuse, you don't want to fight him because he no longer has a title. Let's look at the second excuse. The second excuse, in a certain way, I could understand where Team Lomachenko is coming from. They're concerned that Nicholas Walters, with him already being a very talented fighter, already being a power puncher, already being a knockout artist, and having skill on top of that, he may come in the night of the fight and outweigh you by about 10 to 15 pounds when he rehydrates, right? Now, I can understand the concern of Team Lomachenko, but at the same time, I can't understand them not fighting Nicholas Walters and proving that they're the best fighter in the division for this simple reason. Because Guillermo Rigondeaux, when he fought against Nonito Donaire, that's exactly what Donaire did. Nonito Donaire rehydrated all the way up to about 140 to 145 pounds when he fought against Guillermo Rigo. When Rigo was fighting against Donaire, Donaire was at a minimum 20 pounds bigger than Guillermo Rigo. I mean, you could just watch the fight. You could watch the tape and you could see the size disparity in the ring, right? But it was still Guillermo Rigo who threw more punches, landed more punches than Nonito Donaire, and he dominated him. So, is it a concern when it comes to Team Lomachenko? Absolutely. But if you want to be the best in that division, you're going to have to face this guy, regardless of what he rehydrates to, as long as he makes weight. Now, Nicholas Walters' excuse for not making weight against Mariaga was the fact that he was coming off of a very long layoff. Matter of fact, I believe it was the longest layoff he had ever had. Now, I'm not condoning it, but I will say that makes a little sense, especially when you think about the fact that number 2 pound for pound best fighter in the world, Andre Ward, when he returned back to the ring, he also came in heavier than the 168 pound limit that he's used to fighting at. But the difference is, when it comes to Andre Ward, the fight was made at a catch weight. So all I can really say about the situation with Nicholas Walters is we'll really find out if he has outgrown the 126 pound division in his next fight, because I assume that he'll be in the ring a lot more quicker than he was before the Mariaga fight. So when it comes to Lomachenko or Team Lomachenko, I don't have a real big problem with them not being interested in fighting Nicholas Walters. To me, it suggests they have a lot of respect for the man, and they feel with him being that talented and that dangerous, they don't want to go in there with him outweighing them 15 to 20 pounds. I mean, I could slightly understand that, but at the same time, this just goes to show you guys how special fighters like Guillermo Rigondeaux and Floyd Mayweather are, because these are the type of fighters that fight much bigger opponents all the time. I mean, you guys have to think about this. Unlike a Floyd Mayweather or a Manny Pacquiao who's moved up multiple weight classes to where they can't move up any higher, Lomachenko is not in that situation. He hasn't moved up any divisions yet. But nevertheless, Lomachenko is no longer interested in fighting against Nicholas Walters. Hopefully we see more big fights at the featherweight division, and hopefully we get to see these guys fight in the future. And if not them fight against each other, hopefully there's another big name that we see these guys in the ring with. So that's pretty much all I got for now. I'm on to the next one.